Hi, I'm Brandy with Embodied Alchemy, and this is a slow flow today to start to release tension from the body by linking slow movement with our breath. So you can begin by lying in Shavasana, which is just lying on your mat, on your back, finding a comfortable space for your whole body to relax into. You can start by maybe taking the feet as wide as the mat. Maybe if you need a little bit of grounding, your hands are on your body, or you can open up the arms, palms up to the sky. If you'd like to just be in the gesture of receiving. And just begin to become aware of everything that's happening right now. The sensations in your body or the noise outside, the noise right next to you. Maybe it's the temperature on your skin that you're noticing. Or maybe it's all of the thoughts in your mind that haven't allowed you to show up here yet. Just notice all of that. Feeling the body and the connection to the mat, to the ground. And then bring your awareness down into your low belly and just start to exhale wherever you're at, pushing that low belly in towards your spine as you exhale so that you can get all the way down to the bottom of your breath. And then your inhale travels in. As your lips seal, it comes in through the nose. Back down into that low belly. Let the belly balloon and let the breath come up through the ribs and all the way up to the collarbones. And just pause slightly at the top. Notice the energy at the top of the breath. And when you're ready, open your mouth to exhale. Release, maybe wiggle around in the jaw a little bit as you continue to push all of that air out by focusing again on the low belly, pressing that in towards the spine. Then an inhale travels in once again through the nose, down into the belly as it balloons, up into the ribs as the ribs expand, and then up to the collarbones when you get to the top of the breath. Just a pause for a moment. And then open the mouth to exhale, maybe with a sigh. Let the tongue get a little heavier in your mouth. Maybe this time as you travel to the bottom of the breath, you can feel the backside of the body melting into your practice. Lips seal, inhale in through your nose, biggest breath you've taken all day today. Belly balloons, ribs expand, front, back, even side to side, all the way up to the collarbones, and holding slightly. As you hold here, maybe a few seconds longer, you start to feel the ways that you're gripping or tensing. Can you try to soften in some area where you feel that tension? And then even more softening. And then open the mouth, soften even more. Exhale. Letting it go. Feel your body melting into the earth. What would it feel like to fully relax? Even if in this moment that feels impossible, what would it feel like to allow your body to sink into the earth and just be held? Releasing any need to be doing something. And just allow yourself to feel. Physically feeling into the sensation in the body. Feeling into your emotional and your mental state. And just taking inventory of how you're showing up on your mat today. And for no other reason than to just get to know yourself. Now can you start to focus on a rhythm of breath that feels circular, where you're pulling in the inhale and letting out the exhale with no pause at the top or the bottom, but you're just creating this circular movement. Energy fresh and bright coming in, energy old going out. And you just maybe start to visualize this circular pattern, the breath traveling in through the nose, going down the back of the spine, all the way down into the tailbone as you inhale. And as your exhale starts, wrapping around the tailbone, focus on that energy coming up from the root, through the front of the spine, and out of the mouth as you release. Any sound, any sigh, any noise that you need to make as you release, let yourself do it. As the body softens in with each breath you take, this is just a reminder that we don't have to show up to our mat fully present, but it's an unfolding, an unraveling, like peeling back the layers to the lotus, allowing it to blossom open on its own time. So will your relaxation, so will the unraveling of all of the stress and the tension that you're holding in your body. If you'd like to continue with some movement, you could start to gather your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your hands around your knees or the backs of the thighs if that feels better. And then just start to create some movement. It doesn't have to look like a certain shape, but it could be circles or figure eights. And just start to explore what trying to give your hips and low back a massage and what that feels like. What kind of feedback are you getting? Creating a conversation with your body to where your movement feels, instead of like a command, like you're asking a question. And then the feedback that you're going to get is going to come in the form of sensation. What is that sensation telling you? Is it telling you you need to back off? Is it telling you that this area needs more attention? What's your temperature, your sensory temperature in your body today? And so then when you're ready, you can start to gather the knees in towards the chest. And let the arms fall out away from you like a T shape. As you ground down through your right shoulder, take your inhale in. And then keeping the connection with the right shoulder to the ground, let your knees fall over to the left. Spinal twist. Maybe that left hand comes on top of your thigh, or maybe you've brought props with you to practice and you could use a pillow or a bolster or blocks in between the knees or below the knees. And then the gaze can either be in the same direction as the knees, up towards the sky, or even over that right shoulder. Continue to breathe here for 3 more breaths. And wherever you're at with your gaze, bring it back up to the sky. On your next inhale, pull your navel in towards the spine and the knees come up through the chest. Getting ready for your next side, grounding down through the left shoulder. As your exhale comes, allow the knees to drop over to the right. Again, using the props in any way that you need, and the gaze goes anywhere that feels good for you. Soften through the insides of the feet, the inner thighs, and soften the hips. Soften through that left rung of ribs. And take 1 more breath here. As you inhale, navel pulls in towards the spine, knees come in through the chest. This time we reach the body away, fingertips away from the toe tips. Nice big stretch. Maybe circle out the wrists and the ankles for a moment. Any popping or cracking in those joints. So just think about as excess energy that's ready to clear out of the body. So just shaking the fingers or the toes and see that energy as it leaves you, being recycled into the earth. And the knees come back in towards the belly. Wrap your hands around your knees. Give yourself a little bit of a hug here. Forehead rolls in towards the knees. And then rolling off to your side, so that you can use your top palm to press yourself up. And then we will all meet in a tabletop position. So your hands are under your shoulders, or your wrists are under your shoulders, and your knees are under your hips. And then we'll start with just a little bit of fluid movement. So maybe just wagging the tail and wagging the head from side to side. And then maybe you drop the belly and start to arch through the spine. Let the chest come forward in between the arms. Tailbone is reaching towards the crown of the head. Press the feet into the mat and start to round through the spine now. Shoulder blades separating, chin tucks in, and maybe some movement here from side to side. And then dropping the belly. This time take a big inhale as you look up, pressing the palms into the mat, lifting out of the pose. And then exhale as you round, press the tops of the feet into the ground, push away as the chin tucks in towards the chest, tailbone tucks. Inhale, let's do it again. Drop the belly and look up. Exhale to round. Come back to a neutral spine after this exhale. And then take your right arm and inhale and bring it all the way up to the sky. Maybe the gaze goes up to meet it. And as you exhale, we'll thread the arm across the body and allow the right temple and the right cheek to rest down on the ground as you place the back right shoulder down. You can stay here, or you can reach the fingertips out in front of you. You can also take the bind where you take the left hand to the right side of your low back. Inhale. Exhale. Good. 3 more breaths just like this. No strain. Just allowing your body to settle. And again, with each breath, we're unraveling the layers of tension. So if you're gripping or you're holding or you're trying to push further right now in this pose, you're just allowing yourself to soften and relax into your shape. Wherever you're at with the left hand, bring it back down under your left shoulder. Inhale as you rise. Let that right hand come back up just like we started. Maybe gazing up towards the sky. And let the right hand come down. Next side, inhale, left hand up to the sky, open up, twisting from the navel here. And then exhale as you thread the needle, bring it all the way through. Left temple, left cheek rest down to the mat. And then again, the combination or the variation with the arms, the right arm can come out straight in front of you, or that right arm can wrap around your back. Inhale, fill yourself up. Exhale, release. Three more breaths just like this. Even with a twist, the breath can feel a little restricted, so you just allow yourself to breathe deeply, focusing on the lungs and the expansion in the chest. Lungs pressing down on the diaphragm, making space for all of your breath. Wherever the right hand is, bring it down to sit it underneath the right shoulder, and then inhale again. We bring that left arm all the way up just like we started. Exhale, hands down. Nice job. And now tucking the toes, start to walk the feet towards the hands here. And take an inhale to halfway lift and lengthen. Reach the spine, tailbone towards the back, front of the head towards the front of the mat. And then bend the knees, let the belly come rest down onto the tops of the thighs, and give yourself a little forward fold here. Let the head hang heavy, chin tucks in. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale as you fold in again. Needing this forward fold for the second time might allow you a little more ease here. Let's do it one more time. As you inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Maybe the hands are on the shins. As you exhale, melting forward, bend the knees, let the belly meet the thighs. Hanging like a little rag doll. Maybe you grab opposite elbows. You could sway side to side here. Come back to the middle. Release the hands if you need, or if you had the elbows. And then inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And then exhale as you fold in, let the hands come down to the mat. Walk your hands forward and your feet back so that you can drop your knees down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Hips are staying stacked above the knees here, but then you're going to start to walk the hands forward, coming into Anahata Asana or puppy pose. Forehead rests down onto the mat. You feel the shoulder blades rounding in on the back, which allows the heart in the front to just cascade open, the sternum dropping down towards the mat. And if it feels good for you, you can bring the hands into prayer behind the head, sending a blessing of gratitude over your life, over your practice. Good. Last breath here. And then slowly bring the hands back down to the mat. Walk the hands under the shoulders. Good. And now inhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips high and back. We'll come into a variation of down dog where the knees are bent really deeply. And then start to pedal out the feet a little bit. Press one heel down as you bend deeply into the other knee. And then we'll start to lift the right foot high. Just a little moment here of bending into the knee, of circling out the ankle, whatever kind of movement calls to you here. And then on your next inhale, we'll reach the toes high. And then as you exhale, start to step the right foot up towards the top of the mat outside of the right hand. Drop your back knee down, untuck the toes. Drop the pelvis as you reach the heart and the sternum forward, and then the gaze goes forward a little bit, but also down so that you're long through the back of the neck. Inhale. And exhale. Start to pull the hips back and straighten into the right leg. And then inhale, we bend into that right knee again. Drop the pelvis. Come back into that lunge. And then exhale, pull the hips back, straighten into that right leg for your half splits. Inhale. Drop the hips, lift the heart, gaze goes up. And then I'm pulling it back on your exhale, right leg straightens, foot flexes towards your body. Good, come back down into that lunge just like we started. And then take that right foot towards the back of the mat. You're going to sit your knees down once again. Tuck the toes. Inhale into your downward facing dog. And then up with the left leg. Inhale, reach it high if you want to. Bend the knee. Circle out the ankle. Whatever movement it is that you need here, take it. And then inhale, left toes high. Exhale as you start to pull your left leg towards the top of the mat. Drop that right knee down, untuck the toes, drop the hips down, inhale, flower the heart open towards the front. And then exhale as you start to straighten into that left leg and pull the hips back. Inhale, reach it forward. Drop the hips. Exhale, pull back, half splits. Inhale into your lizard lunge. Exhale as you pull the hips back again. Inhale just where we started, into that low lizard lunge. And then bring that left foot back and around. Left knee meets the right. This time, cross the ankles. Shift yourself back into a seat. Let the legs come straight out in front of you. It might feel easier if you don't have a lot of flexibility in the hamstrings or the low back. It might feel easier for you to bend your knees a little bit. And then take an inhale, reach the heart forward, the gaze goes up. And as you exhale, you can walk your hands down the legs until you find the fold that feels the best, but not like you're pushing or pressing or forcing. And then we're going to round through the spine. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. Let the head hang heavy. Wherever your hands have landed is perfect. Take your next inhale. Slowly start to roll yourself up. And then we'll come all the way back down onto our backs. Knees are still bent. Soles of the feet down on the ground. Take your right foot up. Flex the foot. And then point the toes towards the sky. And then flex the foot. Push the heel away from the body. With that foot flex, go ahead and bend into the right knee, and like you're going to sit down in a chair, let the right ankle drape over that left thigh. If you already feel the stretch in the outer right hip, you can stay here. This is completely perfect. If you'd like a little bit more, you can pull the left knee in towards your chest. Wrap your hand around your shin or maybe the thigh. And then tuck the chin, get really long through the back of the neck here. For those of you who still don't really feel that stretch in the outer right hip, you can go with shifting the legs over towards the left just a little bit. And then you'll start to feel the deepening into that right hip here. Find your depth to where you're not gripping, to where there's no tension around the right hip right now. And then take a deep breath in, everybody together. Inhale in through the nose, all the way down into your belly so the belly balloons, the ribs expand. And then exhale, open your mouth. Relax the body even more. 4 more breaths here. And then begin to release unravel the legs. The right foot comes down to the ground, left foot raises towards the sky, flexing the foot, pull the toes towards you and reach the heel away from the body. Point the toes and flex. And one more time. And then starting to come to the hip stretch on this side, so left ankle drapes over the right thigh. Staying here if this is where you feel the stretch, or beginning to pull that right knee in towards your body. Wrap your hand around your thigh, or maybe around your shin. And again, if you need a little bit more here, you can always shift the legs over towards the right. And we'll deepen into your left hip. How much can you let the body relax here? If the body can't relax, or if the breath is getting cut short, it just means you're a little too deep. Find a little bit more grace for yourself here by backing out a touch. And then begin to take your last 4 breaths here. And when you're ready, begin to release the body. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your hands around your knees. Hug your forehead in. Hugging yourself in. Giving yourself a little bit more of a stretch here. And then when you're ready, we find Shavasana, the resting place that we started in. Allowing your body to just receive the benefits of the practice. Allowing yourself to integrate and rest. Release control of the breath. Nothing more you need to do with the body except let it be held by the earth, by the ground, by the mat below you. Staying here for as long as you'd like to. Thank you for coming to this practice today.